So, timestamps should exist in case you want to just skip forward, and we're also going to be doing some scouts today. Also, yes, Major Orion isn't in the front of the lobby because I am, again, just fishing for events here and there. So, yeah, without further ado, oh my goodness, let me do a thing. Let's see what that looks like, actually. That's going to be really, really interesting to see. But otherwise, off we go. Again, we haven't changed much, but we will go over the runner history really quickly. Because, yeah, there's not really much else to go. Starting from left to right, McQueen... yeah, again, 3 aces turns out works a lot better for me, but and most people in general, if you can do it. But also just getting slapped left, right, and center. If you don't already see it, we should be in grade A. Grade A? Going crazy. Should be in grade A because they're right after my first entry, which was the last video. I got an entry with 4 wins, 1 loss. So yeah. Now that being said, will I do well overall? As you can see here, not really that great. So without further ado, let's just get into it. After getting carried by Gold Ship again, which is my Oshi anyway. So hey. And as you notice, I'm just saving carrots left, right, and center for the time in which I can, well, go out on all out on a banner. Or banners that I want to scout for really, really, really hard. But again, which is why at the end of this video, I will be just doing 1 scouts. Anyway, if I forget, well, I guess that's just the way that I do things. But yeah, as we just look for our grade A, again, it shouldn't be hard if you've been diligently training your Musume. If anything bad happens or just RNG, even though you're like, oh, I know I have my consistency in training here, and then just RNG says, nah, you never get, S aptitude with your Excel skill, or you're just off of your speed by 10, 20, which is not as bad. As others have already seen because of how long CMs work, you can win with like 1,000 speed, even 900 speed at times, as long as everyone else just doesn't have the stamina to last. So we'll do a quick little once over here just to go check, but yeah, I don't really need to check much more to know that I am in the days of which I'm probably going to be running into a lot of harder lobbies, basically. So yeah, without further ado, probably going to look at, just Manhattan Cafe here, just to see Stamina Siphon, on top of pretty stable stuff, but boy, oh boy. I've done some, I made some poor choices during my training, and I'm now feeling the after effects of them. But yeah, without further ado, just get into the race here, and we'll see. Also, yes, I am going to be forcing Gold Ship into as many CMs as possible, if not every CM, which will kind of disrupt certain, what's the word? Disrupt certain comps that you may want to do for certain CMs if you're not just adding in power creep Musume anyway, but that's not really exactly true if you're just trying to, at least, at the bare minimum, get a good amount of rewards. If you're trying to win, however, well, as a free-to-play, you can definitely do it, but boy, oh boy, it's an uphill battle. So that being said, though, doesn't mean that you can't. You can do it perfectly fine. We have more than a few examples of prevalent trainers who are close enough to free-to-play, it doesn't matter. Especially if you're considering just RNG in the mix anyway. Also, we're keeping an eye out for stamina. Go home specialist for the Gold Ship here, and then right when we get the corner near mid-late race, looking for Swinging Maestro. But again, you can win perfectly fine as a free-to-play. It's just on top of my bad choices, I have bad RNG anyway. I would like to reiterate the 400 Scouts 2 Kitasan Black catastrophe, but hey. So something to note here is that I don't usually take a lot of mid-game skills. You can do relatively well with mid-game skills and no excels. I'm sure every trainer who's either watching this video or just trainer in general has felt the losses already, but they're not the most not consistent, but it's not as likely to happen as, hey, someone hits excels and you have 3 aces who are just trying to hit excels if you're just trying to RNG your way to victory, which turns out works relatively well. So yeah, funny enough, we don't actually want to be in 3rd with Gold Ship, but hey, also this Oguri Cap here is really, really wins the Pace Chaser front runner gamble, but it's not over till it's over, as everyone proceeds to proc their stamina recovery skills. I wasn't checking to see if my Gold Ship procced hers. If she doesn't, just to let you know now, in one of the entries yesterday, or 2 days ago, one of the two, there was an entry in which I saw my McQueen get rushed with the stamina and guts that she had. She only procced 1 recovery skill, and she won the race. So maybe everyone else got blocked and or didn't proc their stamina recovery. Who knows? But just goes to show how much you're hoping for when you're just in a race in general. Long CMs though, yeah, there's definitely a lot of stamina confusery involved. But as we get to the late part of this race here, we get a no stopping me straight away spurt Mayano, and we cross our fingers and hope that she breaks out. She's not, because Manhattan Cafe and Narita Taishin are blocking her, so there goes all of our excels. So just to keep in mind, you can excel, but if if a long part of your excel, or even just part of your excel gets used up getting blocked, you might as well have just not procced any excels. So yeah, as we're standing here, we're probably gonna lose this. I didn't see my gold chip proc her stamina, so there's a chance we just don't. Now, she is catching up. That's really interesting to see. And at this point, if anything else weird happens, it would be that we lose speed and we lose in the end here anyway. Because again, we did not proc enough stamina, so... Yep. I don't think she proc... If she did proc Maestro, long S diff, right? Let's actually see what happened there. So, without further ado, let us take a quick look at our placing. I would not be too surprised if we got long S here on top of 1200 stamina. But otherwise, just not having enough stamina in general was really bad. I think I saw the other gold chips proc all of their gold stamina recovery, so... What can I say? Missing 100 speed, but if you don't get enough stamina, you might as well have no speed. It's a huge debuff, basically. Now, the real question is, during this video, will I get 3 wins? The even more dire question is, will I even get 1 win, which would not be great for me. But we have a day and the second day to do so, to get our 3 wins and get to Group A finals. And you want to get into Group A finals anyway. Yeah, you can place first in Group B. That will be actually pretty good as well, but would rather be in Group A finals. So we're gonna look at this Mayano, and then we're gonna look at the Manhattan Cafe. Yep. To be expected, to be expected, to be expected. And that being said, so again, to be expected as well. Stamina and guts looking good. Proc the gold stamina recovery, and everything will work well for everyone else in the lobby. Me, on the other hand, well, really hoping to proc both. Again, you can proc 1 gold with stamina recovery and be perfectly fine with 1000 stamina, 500 guts, but misfires have happened. And by misfires, I mean you get blocked, you don't proc your excels, you're not in a good place to move, you're too far from first place to capitalize on the excels, as odd as that may sound, because I have seen lobbies in which, hey, everyone hits the excel, they seem to rocket forward, but then the first 2 in first just happen to keep their last positioning late race, even without late race skills, because there's only so much max speed you can get. But again, there's a lot of things happening in between the mid-race and the late race. Even without, late race things like Triumphant Pulse, In Body and Mind, Homestretch Haste, or early game things like you're working with a Groundwork, Late Surger, Pace Chaser, and Closer so you can be in front. Which are not bad things to look out as well. It's just that you need to still have your baseline, hey, I need my XLs for the late race, and you need to have, obviously, your stat distribution. 1200 speed, as much stamina as you need, so on and so forth. As for this race, I wasn't keeping an eye on the stamina recovery, so let's keep an eye on at least the swinging maestros and the cooldowns here. Really just cooldown Bofa from Mayano and swinging maestro from everyone in my team, but I would like McQueen to stay as far as she is, but it's going to be a power question right afterward. Again, keeping in mind that power is going to be very, very important for this race because of the huge uphill that contributes to a lot of the acceleration phase of the late race here. So there's Gorman from McQueen. Would like to also see swinging Maestro to make sure I have enough stamina, but I'm pretty sure I have enough. I think this McQueen actually has a higher stamina guts stat line, so with that one we should be okay, but otherwise, yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, and then again, at the very end of the where everyone accelerates, I think is the downhill turn. I mean, I can look that up, but I don't want to take my eyes away from the race. So, as we get some no stopping me's here and there, not stopping me, helping that Manhattan Cafe to some degree. If she gets blocked for a bit here, it would help out, but otherwise, no, that's not the case here. She just gets to shoot forward, as everyone else is stuck in the group. So, let's see what happens here. Which is a far cry from what happened to my Mayano last race. No stopping me on top of straightaway spurt, but blocked from the side and in front where. So sadness happens here. I think just sadness happens. Could still win 3 times in a row, but boy oh boy, would the odds not be great. No stopping me happening very late where it doesn't matter anymore, and yep, pain happens. Because I think, yeah, Manhattan Cafe's Unique is happening at a pretty opportune time. So, without further ado, off to the next race we go. That being said, just keeping in mind that I did make a lot of the specific choices I made in training happened to be things like, hey, I accidentally made some oopsie doopsies, not taking skill points when I should have, taking too much skill points when I didn't want to, and also I think in the cases of Mayano and McQueen, having more, I think I went like 30 to 50 plus more speed. So the cap is 1200 for these scenarios, so what ends up happening is any stats that you could have gotten, say, in power and whatnot, did not go in power. Primarily for event choices in which you can choose between, say, like power and stamina or speed, or anything else that you may be having too much, you might grab too much of a stat, basically. So, without further ado, just going to take a look at this Mayano really quickly. And yeah, so there's a specific reason why a lot of people say to grab... did I ever have the Lone Wolf, by the way? We're going to go portrait mode. Take at least a minimum 800 power. It's literally the hill at the very end of the race. You take... Pretty much, the more power you're missing, the extra diff. It's not... I don't think it's like a 2-to-1 ratio, but boy, does it mean a lot. And the way I know that for sure, in terms of power meaning a lot, is that I've run basically 600 to 900 power Mayanos and McQueens, and I see a big difference in their performance. Now, it could just be I've been getting really lucky or unlucky in races in which having more power or less power helps and hurts in respectively, but I don't feel that's often the case. So, basically, yeah, power does mean a lot here. I think is that a downhill there? It is, so... Procking, again, a big weakness of usually my teams in general for Champions Meeting is that I end up having, like, I think it's always been lower than, like, 400 wits. Sometimes I've been hitting, like, 400, 450 wits. I have to review my past videos. But, aside from frontrunners, obviously, yeah, not having the wits really, really hurts. Again, I always kind of try to justify it by saying it's RNG anyway, and it is, but, in a vacuum, having like 200 to 300 more wits than your opposition does pan out to more consistency and a lot better race performance. So, as to note here, in general, even for pacekeeping, at some point, usually your Musume makes a good decision to go forward. But in this case, as you can see here, not having as much wits results in, well, not being in the front of the end closer position for both Mayano and Gold Ship. So I'm not really banking my hopes on McQueen. McQueen again is more a safety pick ace in case something happens to the other two aces, or the lobby is a lot weaker and we can just stay in front because everyone's running end closers. And there may be a few late surges here and there, but most of the time it's end closers. I think everyone knows this by now, so... Yeah, so as we're dropping to the back here, because in the mid-late race, all the end closers are going to pull forward. If someone rockets forward, that would be nice. This would be the time to do so. So as we enter the final leg into the last spurt, boy, are we hoping for a lot of XLs. We see a few from everyone else. The only XL we see for ourselves, though, is Mayano, and she doesn't really go forward here. In fact, she stays in 9th, so that's not great. This is our last chance. Pump Iron to no stopping me for Gold Ship. Mayano's going to stay in 9th. She usually just stays in 9th. I was trying to figure out why other Mayanos don't perform as, or just Mayano in general doesn't perform as well, even though a lot of trainers have been trying to train Mayano. I just did try Mayano because her training was easier for me. That's really the primary reason. But also looking at my skills, I also don't have everything I want anyway, so that's just more a me thing. But as we lose our third race here, and Naruto Taishin are the number one fave fails, I completely get demolished in this lobby. So, not much to see here. Moving on. But again, there are 7 more entries left after this. But boy, as my first video of the second round, I always want to say second round, boy oh boy, are we off to a bad start. Another kind of meta part to all of this is that at this point, a lot of Uma Musume trainers have dropped off, so we are kind of getting filtered into those who are sticking with Uma Musume, because we haven't really had a big we haven't had a big pop for people getting in. So I mean, not really much else to say there. That's literally the beginning and end of it. Did I ever take a Lone Wolf? Let me check really quickly. I thought I had someone who has Lone Wolf. I think it would be McQueen, right? Yeah, so I can cancel someone? No, I did not. I don't have a Lone Wolf. That is not good. That's not good. I actually meant to have a Lone Wolf so I can block someone else. I think it was supposed to be on McQueen, but because that didn't happen, well, I guess I just get sad now, so... but yeah, usually, if nothing else, I would throw Lone Wolf on Goldchip, obviously, because she's the one I'm really pushing. But in this instance, I must have just really focused on getting long as 1200 speed with good stamina for Mayano and McQueen, and yeah. But no, it's not good to have someone without Lone Wolf, because if you don't take Lone Wolf, usually someone else will, and the more efficient trainer you go up against, the more likely one of them is going to have an ace with Lone Wolf, which, again, is not great for the purposes of, well, at least blocking someone from getting a speed increase. As small as it seems to be, it is still important. So, that being said, if you don't believe that it provides that much of a difference, then sure, right? Do whatever you want. But I would still rather have picked it because I think someone on my team has outer post proficiency. So, if not for no other reason, then I should have taken Lone Wolf so I can just replace it with outer post efficiency. Or replace outer post efficiency with Lone Wolf, and it would have at least given me something. But as we get stamina debuff for whatever reason, again, if that's all you get, it's all you get. I personally would still, again, in that case, probably would have still taken Lone Wolf or anything else. Probably even early start, now that that's a more prevalent skill for end closers, but not that much more prevalent. I'd take it probably over Masterful Gambit, but... again, depends on how you're building your teams. Again, I've seen all different sorts. For me, however, again, I'm just going to stick with who I have and just live with it. I don't normally switch Umas in the middle of a Champions Meet. So as all the gold chips proc their anchors away, we look for both stamina recovery procs, but also looking to see if anyone shoots forward with the excels. It is... It's going to be a heck of a question. This distance is still not going to be enough if someone rockets... I mean, if someone rockets forward, no, even like a 10 length or distancing will matter much for pace chasers and front runners. But again, race is not over yet, so we'll find out. So at this point, yeah, everyone's going to proc their XLs, and the placements are going to go out of whack. They're just going to go out of whack. A lot of no stopping me's from everyone but my own team, and boy oh boy, is this the end of the run. McQueen, proc your unique at least to try and survive. Maybe she can survive. Any other whip procs will happen at this small downhill right here, but after this, let's see if anyone catches up. Here's where all the home stretch haste and body and minds will happen, and there's the Mayano Top Gun, by the way. So, yeah, hope for the best. If we stay in the lead, that would be nice. It seems like she's holding. We'll see. Mayano procs at this point. Everyone's Mayanos are going to proc at this point. And let's see who takes first here. Yeah, power diff, question mark? I was about to say, if I was mentioning for me, was I going to get power diffed? But yeah, what place did McQueen get? So as we get into at least B for final round, she did get third, so we did hold there. So I'm doing a thumbs up in real life, but boy oh boy, yeah, no hope for finals A finals in this entry. We can still win for the rewards at least. That would still be nice to do, but that'll have to depend on the people in this lobby. So Gold Chip and Narita Taishin, from the same trainer? Question mark. I was trying to keep an eye out. Yeah, that looks very good, and Narita Taishin looks very good. So off we go. But yeah, that is to say, I think Mayano performs the second best right under Gold Chip, and then McQueen again is more an anchor pick in case things go wrong. So shrug. But otherwise, as always, I do want to. We start at the very inner for this pace chaser McQueen, which is very good for keeping in first. But otherwise, I also didn't look at the distribution of racers, how many pace chasers we had. If anything, that Oguri Cap is either a pace chaser. It looked like she was a late surger for an instance. But hey, off we go. Straight. Oh, I have straight descent. I didn't even know that. But anywho, let's just try to stay in front. Because yeah, again, now our McQueen is the pace setter, so any mid-game skill she procs will help her out. Now, will it help the end closes I have? Well, again, anything could happen here. Rushed Mayano, if she procs both recovery skills, doesn't matter, but we'll keep an eye on that. Keeping in mind that she does have Breath of Fresh Air, so at any point she can proc Breath of Fresh Air and maybe recover, but hey. Also, you'll note here I took a lot of Ignited Spirit Speed. I promise you, I mean, maybe we should have taken Masterful Gambit instead, but I'm shrugging in real life as I say. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could have taken. Probably just green skills at that point, right? And if I really wanted to green skill into groundwork, but at this point, and if that were the case, I wouldn't have taken iron. So yeah, I would have had enough for 2-3 green skills, or well, 3 green skills into groundwork for Gold Chip or Mayano. But yeah, we'll have to see. It looks like we're doing okay, but it's when we reach the final leg that we'll get a better picture of what happens. And even then, as you saw from the last race, I didn't really analyze everything well, even though I said, oh yeah, the Mayanos might catch up, but it's just as well that McQueen, I mean, she didn't do bad either, right? So keeping that in mind, as our lucky McQueen stays in the front for the moment, we'll see what actually happens. I didn't see all the Swinging Maestro procs, so as we see some no stopping me's and encroaching shadows from the end closes here, boy oh boy are we hoping for a lot. And no, our McQueen is not going to be able to proc anything. I think she needs to be first second. I'm going crazy. Anyway, as we get our XLs here, okay, she does proc, but I don't think it matters because the end closers are just going to stay in front for the moment. So we're really hoping that our end closes do anything. Mayano absolutely dies because of rushed. Note that she doesn't have enough stamina, so that's why she's dropping all the way in the back there. So really it's up to either McQueen to somehow take it back or our Gold Chip to race to the front, which doesn't seem to be happening. Just knowing how long S Gold Chip and the Naruto Taishin also being long S, high power, big acceleration to the end. So seems like it's going to be it is going to be a 1-win 4-loss entry for me. But without further ado, again, if nothing else, more data to see how not completely unlucky, but relatively unlucky free-to-play is doing. Oh boy. Both in training, in scouts, and otherwise, in race performance as well. But yeah, as we close out this video, we'll at least start scouts. We'll do 1 scout. I normally like to do at least 1 scout per banner, sometimes 2 if I'm feeling finicky, but otherwise, yeah, not much else to look at. Let's just get into it. So at the time of this video, if you didn't already know, the game's been updated pretty much at the same time the second round opened. So you can all try to grab your scouts if you decide to do so. I wouldn't decide to do so because I am saving for Kita-san Black, but we'll do our 1 scout and be happy with our lives. If for no other reason, then anything is better than 0%. Keeping in mind that all UMA and support cards do return to the general pool, but if I had to scout anyway just to get a little bit of a power boost here and there, especially if I get really lucky, which I didn't, then hey, would be nice. But otherwise, for the support card, really just looking for dupes here, because getting the banner pull isn't going to help me out the most, unless I get really lucky later on and just pick up more copies. But for the moment, at least do 1 scout and see what happens. If for no other reason than for fun's sake. But no, we get nothing. So yeah, without further ado, not really much else to the video. The end screen should be coming up here. If you have anything to say, you know what to do. If you want to support me, you know what to do. Otherwise, we will be ending it here. We have the new event, story event just opened right now, so I need to burn a lot of my TP, and then burn the rest of my RP, and then do everything else that I need to do. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!